YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got another video here by desu. This video is called Woke Localizers Caught Censoring Problematic Anime to Openly Push an Agenda. Oh my gosh, here we go again. One thing I don't like about a lot of people when it comes to their opinions of anime, a lot of these things are fictional stories, fictional characters. None of these things are real. So I know the reason why people try and censor or push these agendas. We've seen it happen in gaming, and we've seen it also happen in a lot of circles, in movies and all of that. So let's see what this video is about. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's agree to disagree. Let's just have an open conversation, guys. So let's jump into the video. Let's go.
Guys, up here. So today we're going to be looking at another round of mind-melting localization drama. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say Happy New Year's, everyone. Welcome to 2026. We have a lot planned for this year, as always. On the docket, let's see, about 300 to 400 videos to be uploaded on this channel, as well as some streaming, especially on YouTube. That is some big plans coming up. Yes, and as always, if you want to keep track of everything on the channel, the best thing you can do is subscribe. And also make sure to comment and like videos, because that helps push my videos and my channel into the algorithm, which I'm sure the algorithm won't get any more less ridiculous this year. So every little thing that you can do definitely helps. But yeah, to answer the burning question of 2025, no, my glasses did not change size. Anyone who believes that is clearly crazy. But yeah, that pretty much answers everything from last year and the plans for this year. So let's get right into today's video. So we're going to be looking at some localization drama, of course, involving anime, manga, video games, and anything else coming out of Japan, where the localizers in the English version are butchering it. Now, there's some good quotes going around. I wanted to share this before we get into the bad stuff. Recently, the Evangelion director came out and said he doesn't believe in creating for the global market. Instead, the audience will have to be the one to adapt, specifically the overseas market. And you know what? That is the way to go. That is
the way to go. That is an interesting one. When we think about the global market, what he specifically means is Western entertainment, because Western and modern takes of entertainment and creativity and art, they have such a vile and negative, or how can I say, extreme left leaning. It doesn't now have the conversation now of the art, you know. I mean, anime and manga are such simple things, especially we're basically watching a cartoon. So it's nothing crazy, it's nothing extreme, it's nothing problematic, and it's nothing, you know, convoluted or deep. So I feel like I understand where he's coming from, of that he doesn't feel like he should be making like art form or these shows for the Western mentality or the Western global. When he means global, he means Western, you know, audience. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that whole take.
A very based quote right there. If you don't want something that has Japanese themes and culture to it, then maybe you shouldn't look to Japan for media. I don't know. It seems very simple. But of course, we know that...
And I like that. Japanese themes and culture. Yes, that's very true. I understand. Yeah, now I agree with him, because he is from Japan and he has his own idealism. He has his own view takes of life because he's from Japan. So that's more of like an Eastern side. So it's kind of difficult to kind of... because East and West is not the same thing. So they both have different, you know, ideologies.
In the process of bringing it overseas, localizers have been doing their best to absolutely butcher everything, mainly by inserting their own politics into their translations. These people are not artists. They're not even really translators. They're vandalizers. Yeah. And we've seen some classic examples, like the Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid example here with the pesky patriarch, you know. But every time I see this, it's like a flashbang. This is just burned into my memory. But this quote right here sums up the rest of this video and the recent stuff we're going to look at.
Let me speak about localization. If you guys don't know what localization means, it's basically when people take art form, for example, like an anime like Naruto, and let's say that the subbed has a specific way and tone that they say certain things, and then when it comes to the dub, they change everything so that it fits a person's ideals or the way that they think. That's what localization means. It's the way that they think, the way that they talk, their mannerisms to kind of push an agenda. For example, like it's basically being woke. It's basically taking an anime that's in Japanese, and when you translate it to English, you kind of change it to kind of appeal to your idea and stuff. So that's what localization means.
Localizer once said the true joy of localization is really seeing what you can get away with. And boy, is
True.
that just the
That is
truth
that is
for these people.
that's the truth, because these people love to get away with a lot of things.
This is the latest example of a localization gone horribly wrong. This is from a recent localization of Uma Musume. And yeah,
What's that?
we are now trying to get rid of problematic terms like Merry Christmas. Okay, so you heard that, but let's listen to the one part again. This is the center of this controversy. How else, guys, could you ever translate this right here?
Oh, this
So
literally
yeah,
saying
in
Merry
case it's not
Christmas.
blatantly obvious, the characters who are speaking Japanese with English subtitles, they say Merry Christmas in English, or at least attempting English, and they translated in the subtitles
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas to Happy Holidays. This is an example of the characters literally saying one thing and the subtitles saying something entirely different. And this time it's not just Japanese versus subtitles, it's literally English versus English. And they're
Yeah.
changing it because I guess saying Merry Christmas is problematic. Yeah, people are very sensitive about this in the sort of woke localizer scene, those types of people.
Okay, I think this one is a little bit of an extreme take when it comes to localization. I think that's too extreme, because Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm also 50-50 on this one. I get what he means by, if it will start like this, like these people will first immediately say Happy Holidays, then it turns to something totally different, where the whole anime like conversation will completely change because of localization and all of that. But again, for this one, I feel like it's not even that deep. Maybe I'm not reading too far into it, but it's kind of mid. It's not like a train smash, I would say.
They think Merry Christmas is very offensive, so they'll do anything in their power, including a butchering of a translation like this, to, I guess, protect people from hearing
What?
Merry Christmas. It's like garlic to a vampire
Yeah.
for these people, apparently, to the point where they will humiliate themselves in these translations. But a lot of people are not very happy about this. In fact, it actually gets worse when you look back at some of the layers here. Apparently, the banner in the background also said Christmas party. So they're wrong on multiple levels. This wasn't a simple mistake. This was a concerted effort to make sure anything with a mention of Christmas was changed to Happy Holidays. But
I
as
don't
pointed out
know.
here, Christmas is a thing in
I don't know. Maybe we're reading kind of too far into it, but I also get it, because like something like this, it may start like this and it may get worse. But I feel like for now, I feel like we're kind of reading too far into it. But I get it. I'm on both sides.
Japan, even if it's just an excuse to exchange gifts, dress up, eat cake, slash chicken, and for couples to go on dates. Also, you want a funny little like side quest here today? Look up KFC, Japan, and Christmas time. It's a very interesting rabbit hole. I talked about it many years ago, but the infatuation Japan has with KFC during the Christmas season is very funny.
It's not even Japan. It's Japan, China, a lot of Eastern countries, because of marketing. They will market it that a lot of Americans were eating KFC during the holidays. So for them, it's like the tradition of getting a bucket of chicken so that they can celebrate Christmas. It's a very smart tactic that the Westerns used against Japan and, well, mostly Eastern countries.
It paints a very funny picture of what they think our Christmas might be like overseas. But anyways, this comic, you can pause and read through it for yourself. I mean, pretty much localizers in a nutshell. Am I right? But let's move on. In quotes here, there's no way to translate it properly, Chud. It's impossible to convey what they said into English, end quote. I know. How would they ever translate Merry Christmas in the dialogue to Merry Christmas in the subtitles? There's no other way to do it. And if you're mad about it, you're just an incel chud, obviously. AI fixes this. It does, really. Here's the thing. Every time you bring up AI and people like not caring if these localizers lose their jobs to AI, you hear the localizers and all of their sycophants start saying, oh, you guys are such idiots. You think AI is better than human beings when it comes to translating?
Yes, it
Well, as a
is.
principle, no. Like the absolute
Yeah, no, AI is a monster, guys. I won't even lie to you. It's a freaking monster. Like when we think about like I love using the tool AI, especially when it comes to editing, video editing, photography. It's a tool, so trust me, it's gonna get better. You can even create games with AI. That's how scary that shit is.
max value of quality coming out of AI is not there with the potential of human translators.
There's
But the
no
difference
errors.
is the mistakes that are made by AI are not politically motivated. They're not trying to subvert anything or
For now, tinfoil hat is on. I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just
push
pulling
their
a leg.
agenda into the works. That's why people are more accepting of mistakes made by AI, where maybe there's like some literal or overly literal translations or small errors. They can deal with that as long as the people who are purposefully inserting their own agenda into their localizations are losing out to AI. They'd rather deal with AI than allow these localizers to have anything. And you know what? Only the localizers can blame themselves for that happening. But here is another observation where apparently it's Merry Christmas in literally every other language's subs. Only in English is it Happy Holidays. So out of
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird one. Why is it only in English? It's not Merry Christmas. Why is it Happy Holidays?
all
That's
of the
weird.
other subtitles, the only one that actually used Happy Holidays as a substitute was in English, which
Hmm.
honestly makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying there isn't localization problems in other subtitles for
There is of course a localization problem.
other languages, but I think we know the
I think also localization is also kind of low key like censorship.
worst. Okay, I think we know the worst at this point. But here's some of the quotes. This user saying, "This is so ridiculous. We never say Happy Holidays in Japanese. It sounds completely weird in katakana as well. Everyone has always said Merry Christmas, but unfortunately, many localizers are leftists." Here's another one
Yeah,
saying, "As a
extreme
Jewish
leftist.
man, I don't need people to change Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays for me. When someone says Merry Christmas, it's goodwill, not harm. Tiptoeing around harmless phrases to avoid offending a very small but very
Very
loud
loud.
group
Yes. I hate that. That's literal wokeism. Like tiptoeing around certain things and certain topics and certain words and certain meanings in order to just protect a minority group. Doesn't make sense.
will never make sense to me." Smash JT saying, "Bro, they audibly say Merry Christmas like you can actually hear it, and localizers still change it to Happy Holidays." Here's one more. This is why nobody cares if AI takes localizer jobs. They have
True.
been doing this for 10 years, absolutely ruining things. Now, here is a good example of the average discourse of someone who supports this nonsense. Okay, this is the level of intellectual honesty you will get from these people. Okay, so in response to the very valid complaints about this mistranslation, this user simply says, "Learn Japanese then." No, that's my answer. No, I don't want to. If you want to learn Japanese, great. I think that's a fun endeavor. But I don't think the average person who wants to watch anime needs to learn Japanese.
No.
It's the job of the translator, and
To
what they're being
correctly.
trusted to do is to provide an accurate translation of the original Japanese text or audio
And that's all we want. We don't want nothing more. We don't want nothing less.
that reflects the original intent of the creator. That's all they gotta do. You don't have to learn Japanese as a consequence of these idiots who are trying to subvert the translations. Okay, that is such a cop out. I'll just learn Japanese then. It's like going to a restaurant and the chef gives you a terrible meal and you say, hey, you did a terrible job on this, or you need to do this again. And they simply go to culinary school.
Yeah, learn how to
like,
cook.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's their job
crazy.
to do it right. And they should be held accountable and not given excuses.
I agree.
But you can see another person saying, I work as an interpreter and localizer. I can still be mad at this. The mistranslations. And the other user says, okay, so can you tell me why it's okay to want something translated to include you, but not to include others?
Oh my god, bro. Stay like this person, Killer Ducky, stay off the internet, broski. What? That is like oh my gosh. Like, bro. Touch some grass, bro.
Dude, we're on the first day of 2026 and I feel like I already like got banged on the head or something. Like, what am I reading? What is this person even trying to say here?
Yeah.
I really don't get it. But all of this reminds me of another situation that unfolds.
You're getting mad because people are saying Merry Christmas? Like, what holiday is he celebrating? If he's also celebrating Christmas, then what the hell are we talking about?
It a few days ago, involving a director / voice actor who's been a part of many different projects, as you can see right here, across anime, across video games, what have you. And this person recently was caught admitting that their job is to push an agenda instead of voice act. Can't believe it. So apparently they voiced a character from Arknights. And
guys, Stranger Things Season 5, the final episode. You know, that's all I'm going to say.
in their, I guess, announcement tweet, they literally spelled the franchise wrong, but whatever. Then they say this after arguing with a bunch of people about political stuff. They say, if I'm pissing off the transphobes, it means I'm doing my job. They are wasting their time living in so much anger. I'm the future. I don't know if they're saying I'm the future, like they represent the future, which would be really weird if they're trying to say that. But I think they're trying to say it's the future. There's no need to quote tweet me on this sort of thing, though. Thank you for your support.
Okay.
How does this help the localization of Arknights do better? How does this help your career again? Well, you know what? You kind of think about it. It probably doesn't matter. Like, this person's getting dunked on. They've gone private. They're hiding. And they're little...
Not surprised. These people love hiding, private accounts, all of those things. I'm not even surprised.
Attempt to have a standoff here and virtue signals not going well. You can see this quote from Madam Savvy saying, so this person confirms what people said. The ideology pushing.
Yeah.
Issue is...
But guys, ideology pushing has been there since 2020, even before, aka propaganda, guys. Propaganda is a real thing. It's been there for many years. It started, of course, in wars, and it will continue forever and ever. That's propaganda. Propaganda will forever ever exist.
This person is also called a director. They refer to themselves as a director, not just a voice actor, and will only hire or ensure only like-minded people get hired. Millions of people capable of voice acting in America, yet the same handful of talentless losers always get the roles. And then
That's how it is, bro. People get industry favors, bro. Welcome to the industry. What you think? Do you think you're gonna just wake up and be a voice actor? No. There's certain rooms, there's certain groups, there's certain people that get these industry favors and all of that. That's how a lot of industries work, bro.
Make sure their friends get the roles. Yes. Creatures like this hate the medium. They want their voice to be loved the same way the character is. They don't act, they don't respect the source, and they certainly do not care about contributing to the success of authors.
Welcome to 2020 media. That's how it is, broski. It's also like this in gaming. It's also like this in movies. It's like this in a lot of mediums that portray art, or you just trying to like make a movie, like content. Yes, basically what I'm trying to say. It's like this in a lot of content.
Here's another quote saying, this is about voice actors, but fans are angry because unnecessary elements are being added during localization, and this also affecting Japanese content such as anime, manga, and games.
Yes,
the issue is still barely acknowledged as a problem in Japan, but I would like to make 2026 the year to spread understanding so that we can value the original intended expression of
Yes.
the content. And that's the
Yes.
truth. Right now, a lot of people who are in the know in Japan, this whole issue about English localizations is very unknown to them. And over the last year, we've seen some examples of certain bad localizations going viral in Japan, and they're like, what is going on overseas? What are they doing to these original products and the original intent and the original intended expression of this content? They're shocked, but people over here have been seeing this for a very long time.
Yeah, no, we've been seeing it for a long time. I can't clearly name a show that I've seen it do the whole localization, but it's been there for a really long time, really long
But
time.
yeah, that's the goal. Convey the original intent of the creator. That's it. That's all a translator should.
Because at the end of the day, these are all what fictional stories. So convey them because they're all work of fiction. You know, it's not like these are real stories. All of that, like go over there, like convey the stories the way they're supposed to be intended.
Be doing. Now, this image would cause another level of discourse here. Basically, make sure you translate it 100% as intended. You can go that way. But no, the translators and localizers, they go this way, where they want to translate with their own political and culture views. And this person, I'm not like, I thought for a long time this person had to be like in the industry or something. I think they're just like doing this for the love of the game at this point. Like,
It's Twitter. That's all I can say. It's Twitter.
I don't think
Honestly,
they have anything to do with the industry. They just are shill. And they have like the worst takes ever. And they came in quoting a post sharing that previous image saying, your goofy ass doesn't understand localization at all. And that's the real issue here. Not everything can be translated 100%.
yes, it can. No, 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 no. Don't say that. Yes, everything can. Guys, I'm from South Africa. I speak Zulu. I speak how many languages? I speak four languages, right? All of those four languages, I can translate them in 100%. It's not about Japanese, broski.
Literal translations don't work and the dialogue will be skewed. Maybe if you learned from translators instead of wanting them to die, you'd understand that.
No, it's not even about wanting them to die. One thing which I feel like, for a long time, a lot of anime and a lot of these translators have kind of miscued and they have put their agendas. They have put certain things in these animes that we don't want. I totally agree with the guy in the first place. Like, like this is rubbish. It really sucks seeing a show that we like get used as a political play. Shows do this, guys. It's not something that is new, and a lot of shows are doing this. And it's one thing where when he's saying that like we want them to die, no, we don't. Oh yeah, no, because of AI. Yes, we low key do. But at the same time, bro, every single thing in that can be speaking in any language can be 100% translated into English. Doesn't matter which language. I speak four languages. I'm from South Africa, bro. So four languages. I speak. There's a multitude of ways and dialects that we say things, but it can be directly translated into English. That's on God. I swear.
Projection on top of projection on top of straw man arguments over and over again here. Number one, we see this thing like you're the real issue here for pointing out bad translation practices. It's just like anything else. At first, oh, these bad localizations, they're not happening. And then we go to the point where it's like, well, they are happening, but it's not that bad. Then it goes to, well, these localizations are happening, and it's actually a good thing. And then we get to the last step, where it's like, you know what the real issue here is? It's the
you.
people pointing out the bad localizations. That's where we are right now. We're at the final stage of this entire framework. But yeah, they say nothing can be translated 100%. Really? What
That's
about Merry
bullshit.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Can that be translated 100%?
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess not, apparently. But this part kills me. Maybe if you learn from translators instead of wanting them to die. This person didn't say anything about that. They were not making threats or wishing harm on anyone. But also, they're like, sit down. A translator's talking. Like, this is so crazy. And the replies are funny. Like, maybe if you just translate it accurately as possible instead of forcing your own politics into everything, people wouldn't think you deserve to be dropped in a molten lead. You spastic.
Ooh.
Here's another one saying, if you were translating, you'd call it translation and not localization.
True.
And we have this classic quote. Localizers be like, Japanese doesn't have prepositions, so one-for-one translation is impossible. So there was no way not to put in Gamergate and Among Us references. I used a literal translation app, and it made foot soldiers step soldiers, and I understood what it meant and didn't push any ideological agenda or themes that the game didn't intend down our throat. Even things that for whatever cannot be translated one-to-one shouldn't be translated to involve divisive American ideology or political statements like
true.
these abominations, for example. I mean, here's some real classics here.
What happened?
The original says, did I just give my bizarre take on fashion theory to a pro model? The localization says, what? Did I just start mansplaining fashion to a literal pro model?
Mansplaining? What the hell is that? Oh, what the... Come on, bro.
Model?
That's crazy.
Here's another original saying, I don't think I would ever lose to some lolicon god. The localization says, I'm not going to let some god in his problematic age gap beat me.
Ooh.
Here's one more.
That's crazy.
The translation, the original one says, a man who dwells on the past is not popular with the ladies. The localization says, mansplainers aren't popular with the ladies.
Wow.
You know?
That's crazy.
And then we got the classic. You guys are all familiar with the pesky, patriarchal, societal demands. But anyways, let's continue on. And here's the very easy counter to the original post. So Merry Christmas can't be 100% translated. Yep.
Literally, I've never heard anybody use mansplaining in a sentence before. That is a new one.
It all comes back around in this video today, ladies and gentlemen. You have to trust the process. It's all related. But of course, that user would go on saying the anti-localization crowd has ruined the comedy aspect of anime. In their crusade for faithful translation, they criticize every line and sub that attempts to be funny or organic.
Then they must go make their own fucking shows. Like, what are we talking about? If they're trying to be funny or trying to be something in trying to translate, go make your own show. Like, if they want to be funny, go make your own stuff. Stop now, like, plagiarizing people's work. You're plagiarizing. That's plagiarism, bro. Make your own freaking shows. What are we talking about?
While pretending to care about the author's intent, they're rooting for soulless.
No, it's not about we pretending to want the author's intent. We just want the story the way it is, the way it's supposed to be, not some weird translator just you know, saying something that they don't even know, that they never even made.
AI. Then this person makes a very valid point. If localizers can't help themselves from inserting terms such as chuds, incels, and gamergate,
yeah, no, those things should not be in the dialect of, especially like animes. If there's animes that do say these certain words and all of that, fine. But I doubt there is, bro. Because why insert these things like mansplaining? Literally, bro, I've never heard in my life somebody say, yo, mansplaining. What? That's crazy.
They rightfully should be replaced with AI. This is especially true if they try to be epic and funny when the dialogue is not actually meant to be comedic.
Yeah, and that time, go make your own show. Like, if you want to be funny, make your own stuff. Stop plagiarizing.
And then we get one last response saying, nobody's offended by the words chuds and incels, except chuds and incels just saying.
Oh my god, internet. Yeah, that's a troll. You're a troll, bro.
Also, that Gamergate line was 10 years ago, blah, 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 blah. So, is this really the standard you want to go with here? That if there's a mistranslation and there is a phrase in there that you find offensive, that means you are the phrase. I don't really know if that's the standard anyone really wants to be going with. It's not as woke as you think it is. That could really backfire. But yeah, you know, a lot of bad stuff. But please, we need more people like the director of Evangelion. Okay? Focus on your original market. And if people on the outside want to
Don't
check it
like it.
out, they're going to deal with your vision,
Yeah.
not a warped and localized version that's trying to appeal to a bunch of activists on social media in a completely different side of the world. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with this director. I totally understand where he's coming from. It's just crazy, man, when you think about certain things like this whole gamer what am I trying to say? This whole like localization of like anime original artwork getting translated into these other weird terminologies of mansplaining, incel, gamergate, and all of those. I hate those terminologies because those are just all internet troll. It's not they're very distasteful words, you know. And it's distasteful to also be putting it in certain animes and in certain shows and saying it's a comedic relief. If it's a comedic relief, then make your own show. Go make your own funny show. Why now plagiarize somebody's work, you know? I think I'm using plagiarism in the wrong terminology. Like, why would you now try and like destroy somebody's work? That's crazy, bro. Anyways, you guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think, and of course, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.